taking pride in our community. Ralston Hovey Arsenal Dr. Andrew J. Brown. We are embracing our past, living in the present, and walking into the future. Our boundaries are 30th Street to 34th Street, Dr. Andrew J. Brown to Ralston. Our amenities are the Lone Trail, Frederick Douglass Park, which used to be called Indy's Black Park, opened it up in 1921. The Indianapolis Fire Department, Station number 22, and KIPP Indy Public Schools. We are embracing our past. Today's Dr. Andrew J. Brown was briefly called Beeler Street in the 1800s. For more than a century, the street was called Martindale Avenue, as you can see from this map of 1889. The Martindale area was never an independent municipality, but developed primarily as an industrial area. It included Indiana Veneer Company, National Motor Vehicle Company, and Thomas & Skinner Steel Products, which is still operating today. Dr. Brown started Operation Breadbasket and co-founded Indiana Black Expo. On the national front, he served alongside civil rights leaders Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and Reverend Ralph Abernathy to push for the civil rights of all African Americans. He fought for an end to the dead-end jobs, tightly packed segregated neighborhoods, and openly racist and segregated schools to which African American workers, families, and students were subjected. In 1986, Indianapolis renamed Martindale Avenue to Dr. Andrew J. Brown Avenue in his honor.
This is the piano that my parents bought for me when I was a teenager. Music that connects to the soul is the music that can sustain you through all the difficult periods. The lighthearted music makes you laugh, but the Christian church music, it sustains you through the difficult periods. My name is Alice Lee Hopkins. I came to this community by being born into this community to Earl and Edmonia Lee children. But when my mom died in 1998, I came back to the community and started living back in this community. Unfortunately, I started to see things decline in this community when there were apartments put up on Baltimore and 30th. I give some lessons online. I think I give four lessons online, piano, and I give a vocal lesson. And then I give some additional lessons now at the Post Road Music School, which just opened up. And what would I like people to know about this community? Are very proud of ourselves here. We thank God for the blessings, but we are proud of what we have. The help of the Lord, we're going to keep it up.
Yeah, because my daughter just got her degree at Purdue, and she was the first African-American female with a nuclear engineering degree.
Hi, my name is Destiny White, and I'm from Indianapolis, Indiana. I am a senior in nuclear engineering, and I have a minor in political science.
Yeah, I'm Ron Lovette. I grew up in the neighborhood, and I'm a retired firefighter. Worked with Brian for years. I still live in the neighborhood. I never moved out. So I grew up in the neighborhood before the interstate. So I remember all the businesses, the schools, everything. And we didn't have names. Like you guys say you're from Ralston and Martindale, Brightwood, Kennedy King. It was just a big neighborhood. I mean, we knew each other by what school we went to. So So I went to school
22
26.
Captain White.
So everybody knew if I went to school there, where I lived and where I grew up. It's like school 56 and you know, school 38, which is no longer there, but it's right off Bloyd, off the hill. It's Hillside and Bloyd, just up the road. A church owns the building now, but it used to be school 38. Pretty much when the interstate came through, you know, the process of the interstate started in the 50s. And that's when they started buying up land and houses. My grandmother's house, my uncle's bar and tavern, his houses, my uncle's houses. You know, my grandmother got $13,000 for her house and property. And it sits right under the interstate now. But that's when it started. And then when busing started in the 70s, that's when kids got sent out to like Perry Meridian and Warren Central and Franklin. And eventually the parents got tired of them riding the buses, so they ended up moving to those school districts. But that was pretty much when all the businesses closed, when the interstate came through. Yeah, it changed drastically. I mean, you know, Schofield used to have, we had a skating rink right there on Schofield. And we used to go up there and skate. And if you weren't good enough, you got ran over. So Douglas Park, the swimming pool with the big round oval pool. And like Hill Center in Douglas, and there was a community center in Washington Park. And we all competed. I mean, we had football teams and baseball and basketball and sports teams. So it was pretty much, the interstate destroyed the neighborhood. Since it's being gentrified, pretty much just the history. Like, people don't realize that Wes Montgomery grew up here. Freddie Hubbard grew up in this neighborhood. And went to school 50. Freddie Hubbard went to 26 and 56 for a minute, but they don't realize James Spalding, David Baker, who was a professor at IU, they were all musicians that grew up in the neighborhood. The Hampton sisters. If you go on the avenue and you start talking musicians, the majority of them grew up in this neighborhood and performed in this neighborhood back in the day. So it's just trying to teach, I guess, all the people that move here from the suburbs, trying to keep the history of the neighborhood alive so that they know that this was a rich neighborhood before they came down here and built their $500,000 houses. Yeah.
Okay, my name is Carolyn Oliver. I'm a member of Great Commission Church of God, 3302 North Arsenal. Our name was, North New Jersey Street Church of God. We outgrew the building. We purchased land on 46 in Emerson, which was a Devon Ridge area. And so we changed our name to Devon Ridge Church of God. But the building at 3302 North Arsenal became available in 1990. We did some renovations and actually moved in 1991. Under the pastorage of Reverend Arthur Leffridge Sr. And I'm not sure of the year that we changed the name, but the pastor at that time was Eustace Rollins, and he said our name should reflect who we are. So he took Matthew, the 28th chapter, the 19th verse, and said, go, teach, and baptize. So that reflects our mission for the community. So that's how it became Great Commission Church of God. We have Vacation Bible School, where the community has really been involved. We've called, in September, we take Jesus to the hood. We wear our red shirts and we go into the neighborhood. We've been on 34th and Keystone. We've given out $5 gift cards as random acts of kindness. We've cleaned the area. We've cut weeds. We have cleaned alleys. and we fellowshiped. We introduced ourselves to the community. We've gone on 30th and Keystones, same thing, random acts of kindness, cleaning the area, picking up paper, letting the neighborhood know, take pride in what they've done. We have the pantry, which is the fourth Saturday of every month, which is going well even in the midst of the pandemic. Before the pandemic, we would go into the neighborhood on Wednesday and walk the neighborhood, pray, anoint. The people would come out of their houses, get out of their cars, stop us to pray for them. And that's what we've done. So let the community know, hey, we love you. We're not stuck between in the walls of the church. We're coming out to meet your needs.
Hi, I'm Pastor Malachi Walker. I'm co-pastor here at Great Commission Church of God, along with my wife, Dawn Walker. And also I'm the founder and director of Young Men Incorporated Youth Ministry. I started Young Men Incorporated in 1994. And I started Young Men Incorporated as a call to action from the mayor of the city of Indianapolis that it was a year where the homicide rate reached a high number, and the community was in an uproar and expecting some feedback from the city on what to do. So the mayor called out to the city and asked if he can get volunteer pastors and community leaders that we can all come together and sit down and come up with some solutions to how to combat the crime and also the high rise in homicides. And one thing they also noticed that the high rise in homicide, the homicide rate was high, and they found out that African American males were affected by the high rise in the homicides at a high number. So the mayor was concerned about that, along with a lot of community leaders, and they put out a recommendation. They put out a book, a call to action, and asked them for community leaders and churches to come together to come up with some solutions on what we can do. And so as they gathered all the information and got back to the mayor, and the mayor sent out a booklet asking all church leaders and community leaders, youth leaders to look at these recommendations, that this is what they see as probably the high rise in the homicide rate among African American males. And so I saw that, and I was moved by God, the Holy Spirit, to start a program to reach out to our young boys. And by doing that, I started off that first year in 1994, put together a program called Young Men Incorporated, or Young Men Inc., Empowerment Summer Camp. And then during the summer, I will put on a 9-week summer empowerment camp for males. Back then, I started at the age of 8 years old to 16. And that first year, there was a high response rate, but I knew that the funding was, real tight back then. So I reached out, and we set a limit of about 25 boys for the first year. And then after that first year, the second year, we went up to about 50 boys. And then that third year was up to like 75. And then thereafter, we were reaching from 75 to 100 boys. So reaching out to our young men, that was a very important part what they wanted. The helping our young boys to make good decisions and choices in life, how to teach them to get back there to their community, and how to stay on that track of becoming whatever it is that they want to be in society.
Hey, my name is Cheryl Fields, and I actually grew up on the east side on Hovey Street until I went away to get married. Went to school there. Well, my parents actually came here from Hazard, Kentucky. It was a very small town there, and my father wanted to do something different. He wanted to bring his family, you know, I was the firstborn child. And so I was born in Hazard. I've been here since I'm 1 year old. They bought a house on Hovey, and the house has been there ever since. When our parents were unable to do anything anymore, our parents started dying off. We didn't have communication. We didn't have any of that left, you know. So we had such community before, but as they got older and children had gone off and got married and so forth and had their own families, then I think that's when a lot of the decline came. They weren't able to even keep up their properties, a lot of them, and a lot of the families didn't take care of them, so it just kind of went like that as far as I'm concerned. Well, I'll say one of my oldest and my favorite is my father opened a filling station, Enco filling station on 30th and Martindale. And at that grand opening, he had a live tiger and this and that and the other, and it was really a big deal as far as I'm concerned for the community. And then he moved up to like 30th and Keystone, and he was there until he retired, and everybody knew him as Mr. A. And we just had a good time doing that. And we also had a few other, like I'm sure a lot of people mentioned Miss Underwood's store, where you could get penny cookies and 50 cents worth of bologna and that type of thing. And everybody just loved that. We had McKinstry's, we had Douglas Park, and they did golfing. There was just a whole lot going on there that was very, very positive. Now that I know about the neighborhood association, I found out that they've been active in the community, trying to make things better for the people that are here, and that if somebody comes to your door and they give you a flyer, if you're able to do something, just join them, support the neighborhood association so that we can continue to have a great neighborhood.
Hello, my name is Patricia Harris, and I'm the president of RHAA Neighborhood Association. We would like to take the time to thank you for watching our video. And we would like to invite you to our monthly meetings, which are held on the fourth Monday at 6 p.m. at the Great Commission Church of God, located on 33rd and Arsenal.